Chinese Communist Party thinks about exchange rate, and you are not. And because I think the renminbi needs to be revalued, but anyhow. But the hope is that the currency war, if it exists at all, doesn't turn into a trade war, as Mauricio pointed out. And this would be really the worst thing that could happen. And then we would be coming back to what we did during the 30s, and then that was really bad. So I hope that doesn't happen. But there's always a risk that protectionism will kick in.
Mauricio, want to comment a little bit more on your expectations of the future results of this situation?
Just a small comment on Professor's proposals. I mean, I'd love to have more coordination, but all of us to peg to the dollar, I don't think, especially Asia's here and you're here, so if you peg now, it doesn't, you know. And we had our experience with fixed exchange rates. We don't want to go there anymore. So I guess, you know, coordination has to be around the, you know, floating exchange rate system, and otherwise it's not going to work.
Professor Sun?
And actually, I just want to say, yes, it is the peg to dollars. I believe is a very short-term coordination, probably. But in general, the first things and most important things is the exchange rate. The foreign exchange market should be should have less intervention from the central bank. It is more important. However, in China, we are trying to do that because the number of market participants on foreign exchange market in China is the commercial bank. The commercial bank make transaction because they want to manage their foreign exchange position. Or they make foreign exchange transaction for their client. So, and also the market maker on China exchange market is also, it has 24 market maker, and half of them are foreign banks. So I believe the exchange market in China is already, at least at the mechanism, it already marketized. But it is undeniable there is a strong central bank intervention. We just say the fast increase of the foreign reserve, that means that suggests the intervention of the central bank. So I just think pegged to US dollars may be just a short-term policy goals, but in the mid-term or the long-term, it is undeniable the exchange rate should be determined by market.
Thank you.
Just want to emphasize the point around diversity. I think the Greeks must appreciate the diversity in their languages, in their culture, and recognize that's the strength that the Greek countries have. And more important, that the Greeks' activity, that diverse activity, lead to increasing returns among themselves. It's a strength. And lastly, modern evolutionary economics points to the importance of diversity as a basis for selection between technologies, products, organizational solutions, which are key elements in the evolving market economy. So therefore, I recognize the coordination, but I think also as we coordinate, mustn't forget that also being diverse with increasing returns, we could be stronger. Thank you.
We have a question from the floor.
Yeah, I will wondering why none of the speakers addressed the fundamental issue behind this turmoil in the exchange markets. That is the unfettered printing of dollars for the United States Fed. That's one. Two, with a managed value of the yuan, the Chinese and the US are like Siamese twins. You know, Siamese twins sometimes have very opposite personalities, but they're joined up in the stomach. So the actual first Siamese twin in the Barnum and Bailey circus, they spent a lifetime fighting each other, and they died at the same time. So, you know, we're not dealing with this, with the continued posting of surpluses, which was not envisaged by the Bretton Woods Compact. China is piling up these surpluses and parks it in America, which then prints some more and devalues. So, you know, whatever tinkering you can do at the margin, you are not going to attack the main problem. The main problem is how to regulate the United States and then China.
Any comments from the table? We have another question from the floor.
I would like to ask a question to Márcio Garcia. It's about an optimum level of foreign exchange reserve. I mean, is it really possible to estimate right now in this context of international crisis an optimum level of foreign exchange reserves in the case of Brazil, taking into account that our trade surplus is diminishing also year after year? I mean, it seems to me that the situation is getting worse in the terms of balance of Brazilian balance of payments, and it's getting worse also in terms of the international context. I mean, Europe lingers on in a debt crisis. It can worsen the European crisis. The United States is also in a problem, is indebted, heavily indebted, and the rate of unemployment is also high. I mean, it's still a dangerous situation. I mean, that's my question.
My point was that all these models, they rely on some sort of cost-benefit analysis. You can have a fancier model, you can have a simpler model, you can have some kind of just a rule, just like the Greenspan-Guidotti rule, for example. But whatever you have, it's a cost-benefit analysis. And Brazil has by far the highest cost in the world. So that has to weigh somehow, right? And all the models that we have, they show that something like 15% is more than enough. Okay, there are countries that have much more. China, for example, Russia, India, other small countries, much more even. But they have low interest rates. So if you get the burden, it's much, much less. And Brazil is a developing country. We need the money to do things. We don't need to be feeding the speculators, right? I mean, so it's as easy as that. It's something that you look and say something has to give, right? You cannot keep paying something like $30 or more billion a year just as a cost of insurance, right? Furthermore, the effectiveness to change the nominal exchange rate is questionable. So I'm not sure we're getting bang for the buck at all. So that has passed. So we need to change that. And what can we do? Well, there's something we know it works. It's called fiscal adjustment. But we never do. We are paying for it. And until we learn, we keep paying.
Moreira.
I'll comment on the dollar thing. Let me respectfully disagree. I don't think the dollar is the problem. I think the dollar is going the direction it should go. I mean, U.S. has a current account deficit. It's coming out of recession. Nobody wants the U.S. to be stuck in recession. So I don't think that the problem is there. And besides, this will be something 2009 onwards. I mean, we're talking an issue which has been going on since the 60s and the 70s. I mean, it's a much more fundamental issue on how you address exchange regimes, or how you allow some of the, the countries to adopt a regime that hurts other people in the, in the trade, in world trade, and how, you can regulate that. And besides, I mean, again, the dollar is going in the right direction, and most of the Asian countries are refusing to accept the burden of the adjustment. And so, who is paying for the adjustment is Latin America, it's some of Europe, but, Asia stay where it is. It doesn't want to move. And, everybody has to move if you want to get the world economy going again.
Well, in name of BRIC Policy Center of PUC Rio, I thank very much Professor Garcia, Professor Sam, Professor Moreira, and Professor Mondi, and all of you present, and the session is closed. Thank you.